Hi everyone and welcome back to a brand new reaction video. So today I'm going to be reacting to your own personal piercing horror stories. It has been such a long time, so I went back to my previous one. I'm going to go through the comment section and read out some of your horror stories. As always, if you do have a horror story of yourself, please comment down below. And if I haven't read yours out, you are more than welcome to repost the same comment on this video. So we're gonna get onto the trigger train, choo-choo, because it's about to depart. I'm fully aware that I have a huge growth growing on the top of my lip here. You don't need to point it out to me, thank you. I'm not wearing makeup because my skin's been problematic. And that's the tea. Roly, back in middle school, lip piercings were very popular and I wanted to get one really bad. But because I had no idea what I was doing, I bought the jewellery from Claire's. Well, I see this story is going to end up lovely. I'm surprised that your school allowed you to do that actually, because I mean, ours was kind of like a crap school, so they allowed you to do whatever they want, but like, it's not a very common thing to allow things like lip piercings in school. So I bought my jewellery from Claire's and I decided to do it at home. Oh, for God's sake. I was really stupid, yes, and decided to use a thumbtack to pierce my lip. I forced it in and I must have hit a nerve and blood started spewing out. Oh, for God's sake. Let's just say I learned my lesson and got it properly pierced by a professional now. Please do not pierce yourself with thumbtacks. I think in England, thumbtacks are drawing pins. Oh my God, no, please do not do that, guys. It's not a good idea. There's so many veins and capillaries, all that kind of stuff in your body, and like, you don't know what you're doing. And like, if you can't see it, like, that should be done by a professional. That shouldn't be done by yourself, because you angles and everything, trying to get it all perfectly when you're trying to do it on yourself is just not a good idea, especially when you're using drawing pins. A few months ago, I decided I wanted to get another piercing, so I decided to get a snug piercing. Snug piercings are very, very tricky. I already have a few piercings, not many on my ears apart from the standard lobe. Anyway, it was pierced. A few days went past and no problems. Cleaning as usual, normal aftercare. After a week, I must have bumped my ear because it ballooned up. The piercing started to embed itself in my ear, and I ended up going to the hospital where they had to put me in gas and air for 30 minutes of excruciating pain. Snug piercings are one of those ones that are really problematic because of where they are and the position that they are in the ear, like the rim of your ear here, like they're constantly kind of on the outskirts. It's not just like a normal like helix piercing because it's like quite thin, but the snug piercing is like really sort of like in the position it is, depending on how big your snug is, but it's just very problematic and it takes such a long time to heal. It's not a piercing to get if you're kind of new to piercing, or like if you haven't got very many, not really too sure, because it's definitely one that takes a long time to heal, a lot of effort, and it's just not an easy one to get. They've obviously had it embedded in their ear and they had to get it cut out. Like, oh my God, triggered, no thank you. When I was 14, I pierced my nose with an old rusty-ish seam ripper my great gran had. What's a seam ripper? What the hell is that? Is that something you rip clothes with? But you know, nothing a lighter and rubbing alcohol can't fix, oh for God's sake. I had no gloves, of course. I kept jabbing my nose and eventually after 2 days? You were doing this for 2 days. How? Surely after 10 minutes it would have been like, okay, this isn't gonna work, but 2 days? 2 days? Oh my God, trot along bitch. After 2 days it went through. Oh yes, I stabbed the same hole for 2 days, you're insane. I put a black onyx earring in my nose and kept it for a week until it closed and it turned into a literal huge pimple full of gnarly infection. I popped it, eventually the blood and pus shot out on my wall. Oh my God. That's disgusting. The thought of this like big pussy like ball on your nose and then you pop it and all this stuff like squirts over your wall is literally disgusting. And to me, like the definition of triggered, like stop, stop, stop. And again, I can't believe you were doing that for 2 days. How did you, Literally, like I said, after 10 minutes, I'd have been like, this ain't working, bish, like, let's move along. But 2 days, 2 days! Blood pressure rising. Last year, I got my ear pierced in the summer with a gun. Oh, for God's sake, of course, with a gun. It was all fine until 2 weeks later, I woke up and there was pus on my pillow. And I poked where the jewellery was, but instead of it being here, it was inside my ear. Oh my God. There was a lot of blood. We went to the hospital and they put numbing spray, but it went down my ear canal and started wiggling about until it ripped out and it hurt more than when I got it pierced. That's a really big thing that a lot of people worry about, like when they have like ear piercings, like tragus piercings and data piercings, like ones that are more sort of internal, that like the ball will come out and go like inside my ear. My friend Gina from like, this was like back in school time, she had a tragus pierce and the ball came off and went down her ear canal and she had to go to the hospital and it like got really, really far in, so they had to like put like forceps things right inside her ear canal to try and get it out. It's so easy for piercings to get embedded in your ear if you don't have the right size, because once it swells and your ear starts to eat that bar up, it's, you know, that's only coming out when you cut it open. So please guys, make sure that when you're getting piercings, you get the right sizes. So I had my earlobes pierced the first time when I was 7 at the jeweller's my mum got her wedding ring cleaned at. I was only 7, so obviously didn't know getting pierced with guns was dangerous, and it had been a really long time since my mum's were pierced, so neither of us knew any dangers. I always say this to get triggered, but I had my left earlobe done when I was like 5 or 6, and I had that done with a piercing gun. But like back in like the early 90s and stuff, like, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but back in like the early 90s, like piercing guns was like a normal. It was more normal to use piercing guns than anything. So this was a jeweler and definitely not a professional body piercer because the gun was at a crooked angle. The earrings were put kind of crooked. They also gave me bad instructions to take care of it. So with a few months go by, I had non-stop infections that were super painful, but I was a stubborn 7-year-old. I can relate to being a stubborn 7-year-old. I'm a stubborn 28-year-old now. Triggered, but true. So I was a stubborn 7-year-old and didn't want to take the stupid golden butterfly earrings out. So my mum had to force me to let them close up. The hole's closed kind of, but 5 years I've had knots of scar tissue and it still regularly gets infected. We also found out that I was allergic to the metal in the plating of the earring I was wearing, and that's was part of the reason why it gave me so much trouble. I'm lucky that I'm not allergic to anything, but you know, if your infections or your like, you know, your pain carries on for a long period of time, it's not necessarily because it's not cleaning right. It could just be your body going, what the hell is this? I hate this, help me. Again, you can always go to your doctor and get like an allergy test or something. I'm sure they can do it with metals. I'm not sure how those kind of things work because I've never had to do it, but. When I was 10 years old, I got my parents to take me to Claire's. This video should just be called Claire's is shit. Took me to Claire's to get my ears pierced, and apart from the holes being slightly uneven, there was no healing problems or anything. So when I was 14, I wanted my second lobe piercings on my left ear and cartilage piercing on my right. Because I had a good experience at Claire's before, not really something you hear very often. My parents took me there again. The next morning I woke up and my earlobe was bright red and had swollen. Oh my God. And there was skin growing over the back of the piercing. I freaked out and my mum drove me to the ER. The doctor had to cut the earring out of my ear, which hurt like hell. Oh God. I can't even imagine having to have like an earring, like your ear sliced open to pull the bar out. Like, oh my God, no thanks. A few days later, I saw my cartilage piercing had a lump growing on it too. But remembering how much it hurt the last time to get the earring removed, my stupid teenage ass self decided not to tell my parents and tried to hide it. Why would you do that? Surely, how could you do that and not think, this is going to get worse? After a few days, my mum saw it and took me to the doctor again. They were able to remove the earring without cutting the skin, thank God. If you ever have problems, do not try to hide it. Do not go, it'll get better on its own. Please go and see a piercer. Please go and tell someone. Please go see a doctor. Please do not leave this because trust me, the long-term effects can really like deform your ear, can give you horrendous scarring. It can just cause you so many like terrible things. So please, 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 if you have any suspicions, just go see a piercer. I went to a shop to get my bridge pierced. I did do a lot of research and saw that a tattoo shop had good reviews for piercings. And when the guy took me to the back and gotten me all prepped and such, he went to pierce me. The needle only went halfway in. He spent 30 minutes trying to push it, 30 minutes trying to push it through. I was in agony, I'm not surprised. He finally said if he could re-pierce it just a little bit higher. I just said fine, go for it. When he took the needle out, blood poured down my face and he took it out at such a quick speed that it also got on my ex who was sitting next to me. Oh my God, ew! Splishy sploshy, the bloody waddy up. Anyway, he re-pierced it, took a long time to heal and I looked like someone punched me. Looked like someone had punched me, but it looks great and I still have it to this day. I'm surprised that hasn't rejected for all the stress that happened in that area. I'm surprised you still have that. How long has it been? But 30 minutes, 30 minutes? What the hell kind of piercer was that? 30 minutes and he got it wrong. Trot along, bitch. Really, my piercing horror story. I have 8 piercings done with a piercing. Oh, for God's sake, 8. 8! Do you know they say like stress ages the body? I feel like I've aged about 70 years doing these videos. I know I was 12 but got my cartilage done in the middle of the ear. Fast forward 6 years later, it was heavily scarred and I still get infected. I'm not surprised. Then I went to a bird sanctuary. Oh my God. I already know where this is going. I had coaxed the little cockatiel onto my shoulder. He then proceeded to bite onto the piercing. I screamed and he fell. I was more concerned about the bird that I didn't notice the blood running down my ear. Oh, for God's sake. The bird was thankfully okay, but after a month-long infection, my ear was too. We've now had 2 stories about a cat ripping out a tongue piercing and 2 cockatiels biting onto ear piercings. Oh, stop letting pets and animals near your piercings, please, guys. That goes for babies too. When I was 4, I asked to have my ears pierced at the mall. Always a good idea. 12 years later, I wanted to stretch those piercings. I stretched a little too quickly and my ears were really resistant to stretching. Anyways, with the 4 gauge, I decided to force it through my ears. Oh, for God's sake. I tore both my lobes. Imagine the horror of to see a piece of skin hanging down. Yeah, I ripped my ear. What concerned about is the fact that you ripped both ears. Like, surely when it didn't work out the first time, it was like you would have thought, oh, let's not go do the second one. But you did anyway. Like, why did you do the next one if you'd messed up the first one? A girl, her dog, and a new navel piercing. Oh, for God's sake. Another pet, another animal. Okay, so when I was 16 and wanted my navel pierced, I bought a thick-ass sewing needle, but oh, for God's sake. Keeps getting better. I got a thick-ass sewing needle because I was an idiot. And it took an hour for me to get it through. I love the fact that you were doing it for an hour. Again, 10 minutes, I would have had enough. The hole was a lot smaller than the navel jewellery, so I had to force it through. And it went, oh my God. So I had to force it through and it was bleeding so bad I almost threw up. Well, a few days later, it was swollen and red and had pus on it. I fell asleep and I woke up to something yanking on it. Oh my, no, triggered, choo-choo. My new puppy I had just gotten a few days before stuck his little head under my skirt. Ooh. How perverse. And ripped my belly button piercing. That's disgusting. It felt like Satan was in my belly button. That's incredible. That's a great saying. I can't even imagine like the feeling of a pet like biting onto it and pulling it, especially the fact that it would have been so painful already because it was all swollen and gross. The fact that it's like ripped. So now, a cockatiel, a dog, and a cat. So I'm speeding down the railway on the trigger train. So I got my ticket, have you got yours? Thank you for leaving all of your, that made no sense. Thank you for leaving all of your stories, guys. Thank you. Again, if you want to post your own stories, please comment down below on this video your piercing horror story. And again, you're more than welcome to repost the same story. I obviously have to pick from hundreds and hundreds, so please obviously don't be upset if I don't pick yours. Like, just keep posting the same story if I haven't done it, and eventually I'll probably get around to doing yours. But again, make sure you come follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna be doing another piercings gone wrong Instagram version soon, so come and send me lots of crazy stuff on Instagram, and also Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff is linked down below. Oh my gosh, you can go get some of my merchandise as well. My Trot Long Bitch t-shirts are still available, and like other stuff. The Beef House makes me gay, be everything you want to be, and don't let any bitch shot they take off of you, because you are, what? Flawless, yes! Hi guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I want to give an extra special shout out to my Patreons, Huey Roseberry, Galaxy Star Fire, Curtis Mitchell, Nikki NG, Michelle Erickson, Kelly Bowser, Fred Monster, Kia, Catherine Lamb, and Philippa Clark. Thank you so much for becoming my top tier Patreons. There's a link down below if anyone else would like to join the family. Yes, thank you, bye!